welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you have been doing good. Now, from the title of this video, you already know that this is not the regular kind of video on my channel, but what I'm going to be talking about today is still relevant and very important when it comes to achieving your goals and dreams. Now, besides preparing for pageants, the motto of this channel, in case you've noticed, is to become a better version of ourselves every single day. And secondly, almost everyone on this planet complains about not having enough time. But the problem is not that they don't have enough time. Everybody has the same number of hours, but the problem lies in their productivity per hour. And so whether it's pageant preparation or any other sphere of life, what I'm going to be sharing with you today in this video is definitely going to help you enhance your productivity. Now hold on, I'm not claiming to be a professional productivity coach or even a motivational speaker. But I am someone who really likes it when, people achieve their goals and dreams. And I've noticed that so many people have all of these ambitions, but the problem they face is time management and not being productive enough. And so if my content helps even one person achieve their goals because of what I've put out, it's just going to make me really happy. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips that I've learned and incorporated into my daily life. And all of these tips and lessons stem from something that I learned very early on in my college life, that is in 2012, when I finally realized the importance of smart work over hard work. And so basically smart work is equals to hard work plus time management plus breaking down your goals into smaller goals. And this is something that a friend of mine taught me in college. These students who get A's in all their exams and they're also involved in a lot of extracurricular activities. And I always used to wonder, how do you manage everything? And so today I'll be sharing with you all the lessons that I've learned from my friend, from the books that I've read over the years, from podcasts and every other thing that I've learned with life. And so enough with the background chat, and now let's dive straight into the video. Number 1 and the most important tip when it comes to being more productive throughout the day is to wake up early and spend your most efficient hours on the thing that requires the most amount of work. Now, Robin Sharma likes to call this the 90-91 rule. What it means is that you have to spend the first 90 minutes of your day for a stretch of 90 days to develop this habit. Spend those 90 minutes on the one thing that you want to excel at. Now, this could be dance, this could be fitness, this could be practicing in heels if you're seriously preparing for a pageant. This could be your college assignment, that presentation that is due. This could be your school work. It could be anything. But you always have this one task that you're just scared of कि अरे ये कैसे होगा, बहुत time लगेगा, मुझे नहीं आता है. Any of those problems that you're facing, just wake up early and spend 90 minutes, 2 hours, and trust me, you will finish that work much faster than you expected, because in the morning, first thing when you wake up, you have the highest energy levels, your mind is working the most efficient way than it will ever throughout the day. And I've tried this myself. In fact, most of my YouTube videos are filmed early in the morning. And I'm not saying this just to put out gyan, but I actually have tried and tested this myself. And I promise that if you try this technique, you will see results instantly. And once you start enjoying that feeling of satisfaction and contentment when you are able to check off tasks off your to-do list, it's a feeling that it makes you want to do that every single day. And another thing, I have read so many books. Like, this is something, as long as I can remember, I've always been attracted to books about, this could include memoirs, biographies, autobiographies, about really successful people. And I love reading about what do these people do differently. And this is something that is common among Bill Gates or anybody you read about. They always wake up early in the morning. Sometimes really successful people, they have a lot to do throughout the day. So it's also important to take out some me time. So if your schedule is like that early morning could be the only time that you give to yourself, then do that. But make sure to make it a habit to wake up early. You can start, say, like if you wake up at 9 a.m. right now, gradually increase it, make it 8:30, then make it 8, then make it 7:30. You don't have to shift all of a sudden 2 hours before your actual waking up time, because then your body will be exhausted and it's not a change. You shouldn't allow your body to go through drastic changes all at once. So do it gradually, but whenever you wake up, do not check your phone, do not go on social media, do not start reading really negative news maybe. But instead of that, put your phone away, go have some honey lemon water, and work on yourself, whatever you want to achieve one night before. You can plan that, and this habit, what you do every day, is what predicts what your future is going to be like. And this is a very small habit that you have to inculcate into your life. The second tip on my list that I want to share with you guys is called the one-time touch and minimalism. Now, what this means is, one-time touch means, just like in chess, when you touch a pawn and then you have to move it. Similarly, what I've done is, one, turn off notifications in your phone. Now, what this is going to help you do is, when you have to respond to a certain message or a certain email, one-time touch means that the moment you open it, you're going to respond to it and you're going to wrap it up. There is no going back to anything. So if you get a task, you do it right now. This is a very good habit that is going to help you get rid of procrastination. And so I've turned off notifications in my phone. And so whenever I do get the time, so I am available to respond to messages and emails. At that time, I will open up my phone and I will respond to the email when I see it. Because what happens is, sometimes you've read the message, you've read the mail, but then you forget to respond to it. And then you have to come back a second time to look at it. Or sometimes you might forget altogether and never get back to those people. So this technique is a very good way to get rid of the habit of procrastination. And when it comes to minimalism, you can think of minimalism as something like, you have to keep all the tabs in your brain open to a minimum. Now, what this means is, whenever you're working on a laptop, on a phone, try to wrap up things. Again, it's the one-time touch thing will lead to minimalism, because you won't have 10 tasks open in front of you. Similarly, you won't have 10 tabs open in your browser window. And so, because just looking at so many things all together makes our brain work less efficiently. It looks chaotic. We just get intimidated. Oh my God, there's so much to do. So instead of that, just pick up one tab, one task, whatever you have to deal with, finish it, close it. So one-time touch and minimalism, practice this technique, and I promise you will feel the productivity of your day increase, because you are not spending time more than once on any task. Tip number 3 is to remove distractions. Now, there is a quote that says, if you want to fly, you have to get rid of everything that weighs you down. And mostly what weighs us down in, being more and more productive throughout the day, especially our generation, is our phones. They cause so much distraction, because think about it. How many times have you opened your phone to do something, but instead you're just scrolling on Instagram or going through YouTube, or you just forget why you actually opened up your phone for, and instead of what the task might have been for 2 minutes, you ended up spending 20 minutes on your phone. And so 2 ways to get rid of these distractions is, one is obviously turn off the notifications. You should be looking at your phone when you are available and when you know this is my time to respond to messages and emails, because these beeps and notification bells all the time are just going to break your focus when you're involved in something a lot more serious that requires your full attention. Another thing that you can do to make this a habit and practice not wanting to look at your phone all the time, there are so many apps that help you not check your phone for a certain duration. So there are tree growing apps, so you have to put your phone away for 30 minutes, and if you pick it up and open it up before that period of 30 minutes, the plant will die. There are a lot of apps basically which help you enhance your productivity. Another thing that I want to suggest is, once a month, try to have a social media detox day. All of us are so engaged in those white screens that are constantly buzzing and diverting our attention. And so I think, and also there's so much negativity on social media these days. So while we realize, okay, we can't completely cut off ourselves from social media, but once a month, just once, take a day off, and on that day you will not use any social media. You can use your phone, but don't use social media. And what that is going to do is it's going to make you feel how calm and rested and relaxed you feel on those days. And when you start doing that once every month, trust me, you're going to start enjoying that feeling of not having to open Instagram or Snapchat. And gradually that becomes a habit in daily life because you're just not so tempted to open those apps anymore. So while the detox day was just one day in a month, even the other 29 days of the month, you won't be opening up Instagram, say, every 10 minutes. Because just think about it, how many hours, go and check in your phone right now, how many hours a day do you spend on social media apps? And you could put that time into achieving your goals, into something much more productive. This is going to be a conscious effort. And once you get rid of distractions, you'll realize how much time you actually have on your hands. Everybody has the same amount of hours in the day. What successful people are not doing is they are not scrolling on social media apps, say 2 to 3 hours a day. Tip number 4 on my list is called intentionality. Now, a lot of people use this word when they're talking about a relationship with a partner or a loved one. And I'm gonna ask you, what about your relationship with yourself? Just the way you need to spend quality time with your partner, you also need to spend quality time with yourself. Now, you can also call this technique as time blocking. What it means is you have to schedule things. First of all, you have to plan your day. And it doesn't mean that once because you want to achieve your goals and dreams, you don't want to block all, say, 12 hours of your day into just your goals and dreams. You also have to remember that there needs to be certain rest time in between, because that is what is going to help you recharge. Even when you're resting, it's intentional. So say I wanted to work for 2 hours, but then I wanted to watch a movie for, say, 90 minutes. Now those 90 minutes were actually, I had time blocked that time in my day, that I am going to give myself that break today. I'm going to rest and I'm going to watch a movie. What happens this way is, one, you know that this was a plan, this was scheduled into your day, and obviously you're going to compensate to make up for that time in one way or the other, because the rest of your day is also planned and scheduled, and you're going to make sure that those other hours are going to be productive hours. What happens to most people is we're just sitting and scrolling through Instagram, we're watching Netflix, but the back of our mind is telling us, you have so many things to do, you're not doing that, you're not doing that. So even though you're technically resting, relaxing, taking a break, but there's a certain amount of guilt attached to it, right? And so you're neither able to relax properly and, I deserve this, self-love. You're not getting that feeling. And you're still worried about so many tasks that you have left over and are still pending. So if you have intentionality in your life, basically there needs to be intention and purpose behind everything. Whether it's anything you do in life, it could be whether you're dating, whether you have a relationship, it needs to have a purpose. Every second of time that you have on your hands, life is short, right? Every second, every minute should have a purpose, and it doesn't mean you need to be working all the time. Even if you're just giving yourself a break, you know that this is a break. I am giving this to myself. This is for me to recharge, so that at the end of this 90 minutes, I will wake up with new refreshed energy and I will get back to work. Now, in case you guys are thinking that she's just saying these things, but does she actually follow this in her daily life? And so for that, I want to show you my journal. Now, this is the journal by Alicia Souza. I will link it in the description box in case you're interested. She comes out with a journal every single year. This is the first year I bought her journal specifically. So it has 2020 on the cover. And what I'm going to show you here is, let's remove the pen. I'm not gonna let you guys read what I've written, but you see there's August over here. So there are birthdays, this month's goals, important events, to-do lists. And so I write down everything at the beginning of every month. Even throughout the month, you can update your to-do list. And then there's a habit tracker over here. Again, I try to follow which days I worked out, which days I was properly reading. Honestly, I am slacking on reading right now. Then there's a monthly meal plan. There's a shopping list page. I don't really use those that often. And then there's a calendar. And the way I use calendars is to track my finances. I think it's a really smart way to see which days I was spending more and which days there was money coming in. So that is what I do with the calendar and also the YouTube videos. Now I have content planned, but I have to plan on which date am I releasing which video. So that too is planned. All of that is planned in this calendar. So this is what I'm trying to tell you, that remember the quote, the things that get scheduled are the things that get done. And so it is important to write down lists, plan which date is scheduled for which task, and just having all of this planning is going to make sure that you actually achieve your goals rather than just thinking about them. And number 5 and the last tip on my list is reward yourself. Now by rewarding, I don't mean go Netflix and go scroll through your social media feed. I mean actually reward yourself. And so you can think of things that you really wanted to gift yourself or buy for yourself. It could be some really cool boots from Zara. It could be some really nice top that you saw at a store, the Dyson Airwrap. It could be anything. It could be a cheap meal if you're on a fitness journey. But you have to reward yourself and tell yourself that, all right, so I have to achieve this list of goals. And once I do that, I get to eat this or I get to buy this for myself. And that is just going to motivate you to be even more productive, because the faster you finish your goals, the faster you get that reward. Now, I know all of this might sound like it's really difficult to do and it only, sounds good in theory, but I'm not a morning person. I can't wake up early. ये मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा. So many people talk like that, right? Guys, if it was easy, everyone would be successful, right? Why do you think only a certain percentage of people reach the top? Because look at anything in life. 100 people start. At the beginning of their journey, there are hundreds and thousands of people, but there are only a very handful and very few people who reach the finish line, who are actually successful, who reach the top. This is what you need to do. You need to be consistent. You need to be persistent. There's this thing called the dip in every journey if you want to be successful at anything. And this dip is where it needs the most amount of patience and persistence. And you have to overcome that. You have to cross that dip to reach the top. And there's a reason. That's why it's really difficult to be at the top. Even if the successful people make it look easy, it's these little things that they do on a daily basis which help them reach the top. So start incorporating these tips into your life. Make it a habit, and it's okay if you miss a day or two. What you have to remember is that 1, it is difficult. Don't be very hard on yourself, but again, don't forget self-discipline. Don't go too easy on yourself either. You know yourself. You can never lie to yourself when we are wasting time, when we know कि ये हो सकता था, but मैंने नहीं किया. So be very honest with yourself. It's so important to be successful. And say, even if you did miss a day or two, it's okay. Don't stop it just because एक दिन miss हो गया. Continue, just be consistent. It's okay if you missed it, because think of it like this way. In a span of 100 days, even if you did whatever you wanted to do for 80 or 90 days, that is still good enough. It's okay if you missed 10 days here and there in between. So don't give up, push yourself. The more you feel uncomfortable and the more it feels like you're challenging yourself, that is where growth comes from. I would like to end this video with one of my favorite quotes, that is, how you do anything is how you do everything. This has been my life mantra for the longest time, and I'm going to leave you guys with that to think about. If you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do subscribe. Also, don't forget to follow me on my Instagram so that you know what other videos are coming up. You can also leave me DMs giving me suggestions on future videos. If you want more videos of me talking about topics like this, I would love to know that. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye bye.